Now, today we're going to talk about depression and anxiety. Now, because there is a lot of things to cover, I'm going to split the recording into two parts. The first part, I'm going to talk about depression and anxiety. And at the end of each issue, I will give you a very, very brief suggestion as to how to get over them. But the final part is the very comprehensive one as to discuss how we can overcome depression and anxiety with our Buddhist practice. So I have to divide it into two videos. It's because there is a limitation of not more than 30 minutes in each video. So I'm going to start talking about depression and anxiety. Today we are going to talk about depression and anxiety. Right now, in this chaotic time and world, we have the fear of pandemic, death, unemployment, financial crisis, lockdown, distancing, separation, etc. Quite a number of people are either depressed because they do not have any social connections, or are anxious about losing their jobs, with no money to support themselves or their families, which is happening right now in this COVID-19 situation. And in fact, the reason why I want to choose this subject today is last week, when I had the Chinese meeting, a very nice, good member briefly said that he was quite depressed because of the staying home and lockdown. So this is why I chose this topic today. Now, we are going to address these two issues and see how we can overcome them with our Buddhist practice. But before we go into details, it is important for us to know what and why. Because without knowing what is depression and why we have depression, it's very hard for us to win over. I'm saying this because I have been very, 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 very unhappy in my life. And I was always feeling sick, to the extent that years ago, I asked my son to drive me to a suburb 2 hours away from Sydney to see a natural path. And then at that time, she said, it's all in your mind. So this is how I started to realize. Not even that. When I went to the chemist to get the medication, the chemist said, this is mental. And then I begin to sort of know that I'm depressed. I did not know I was depressed. So this is why it's important to know whether you are depressed or not. I didn't even know then. Okay, so what is depression? Depression is more than just feeling down or having a bad day. When a sad mood lasts for a long time and interferes with normal everyday functioning, you may be depressed. Symptoms of depression include feeling sad or anxious often all the time. That was me. Not wanting to do activities that used to be fun. Experiencing aches, pains, headaches, or stomach problems that do not improve with treatment. That was me. Thinking about suicide or hurting yourself. Angry outbursts, irritability, or frustration, even over small matters. That was me. Sleep disturbances, including insomnia or sleeping too much. That was me. Tiredness and lack of energy. So even small tasks take extra effort. That was me. Reduced appetite and weight loss, or increased cravings for food and weight gain. Now, I love food. I just kept on eating and eating without knowing that I was full, and then I've got stomach problems, and that was me. Anxiety, agitation, and restlessness, and that was me. Slow thinking, speaking, or body movements. Feelings of worthlessness or guilt. Fixation on past failures or self-blame. Trouble thinking, concentrating, making decisions and remembering things. That was me. Memory difficulties or personality changes. That was me. Often wanting to stay at home rather than going out to socialize or doing things. I have always wanted to be alone. I don't want to be with people. So that was me. So what are the main causes of depression? There are a number of factors that may increase the chance of depression, including the following: abuse. Past physical, sexual, or emotional abuse can increase depression, and certain type of medications that will make you depressed. Conflict. Personal conflicts or disputes with members, family members, friends, or colleagues. Death. Separation or a loss. Sadness or grief from a death or loss of a loved one or a family member. Major events. Even good events such as starting a new job, getting married, graduating, can lead to depression, or giving birth to babies or pregnancy can lead to depressions. So can moving, losing a job or income, getting divorced, or retiring. Other personal problems, such as failed relationships, low self-esteem, no confidence. Serious illnesses. Sometimes depression coexists with a major illness or may be triggered by another medical condition. Now, this is very obvious. If you are sick for a long time, I think I was sick for a very long time, and then I didn't have the energy to do anything, and then I didn't know that it caused depression. So depression, anxiety, and anger are similar to the worlds of hell, animality, and anger. It was said that focusing on something can block negative thoughts. Similarly, when we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and focus on the sound of our voice and the movement of our mouth, we get less distracted by other thoughts. Facing fears and difficulties with a determination to grow is part of psychology's behavioral therapy and is also a part of human revolution. In conclusion, Swiss philosopher Simon Weil said, at the center of the human heart is longing for absolute good. So if we long for absolute good, we will take action. And taking action is a way towards overcoming your depression. So next, we are going to talk about anxiety. So what is anxiety? Experiencing occasional anxiety is a normal part of life. However, people with anxiety disorders frequently have intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. Often, anxiety disorders involve repeated episodes of sudden feelings of intense anxiety and fear of terror that reach a peak within minutes, and this is what we call panic attacks. These feelings of anxiety and panic interfere with daily activities, are difficult to control, and are out of proportion to the actual danger and can last a long time. You may want to avoid places or situations to prevent these feelings. For example, somebody's got a panic attack whenever she goes through a tunnel, drives through a tunnel. And because of this, she doesn't want to drive, and she would never drive through a tunnel to avoid this panic attack. So what are the symptoms of anxiety? Common anxiety symptoms include feeling nervous, restless, or tense, and that was me. I had always been very nervous and anxious. Having a sense of impending danger, panic or doom. Having an increased heart rate, that was me. Breathing rapidly, hyperventilation, That was my son. He had hyperventilation before. Sweating, trembling, feeling weak or tired, that was me. Trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than the present worry, that was me. Having trouble sleeping, that was me. Experiencing gastrointestinal GI problems, and that was me. I always have stomach problems. Having difficulty controlling worry, that was me. I used to worry all the time. Having the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety, trauma. People who endured abuse or trauma or witnessed traumatic events are at higher risk of developing an anxiety disorder at some point in life. Trauma can really cause anxiety. Like the child, if the child had been separated from the parents, and that anxiety can last for a long time into adulthood. Stress due to illness. I was very nervous because I was feeling sick all the time. So that has made me anxious. Now, personality. People with certain personality types are more prone to anxiety disorders than others. And that was me. I'm a very impatient person. So with this kind of personality, I'm very prone to becoming anxious because I want to get things done all the time, or I want to get things done yesterday. Other mental health disorders. People with mental health disorders such as the depression often also have anxiety disorder. Having blood relatives with anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders can run in families. Likewise, my father, I think he had anxiety problems and he had depression problems. And he used to take antidepressant pills. And me, as a child, under 10 years old, I was feeling unhappy. So I also took his pills to become happier, even as a child. Now, drug or alcohol. Drug or alcohol use or misuse or withdrawal can cause or worsen anxiety. Like smoking. If you stop smoking, then sometimes you feel anxious. Now, there are 3 simple Buddhist ways to handle stress. A stress-resistant personality type. Someone who handles stress better than others is less prone to stress-induced illnesses, and when faced with illness, overcomes it better. This personality type consists of 3 factors: commitment, control, and challenge, qualities that are identified and nurtured by the practice of Nichiren Buddhism. The first one is commitment. Being dedicated to a cause or activity that is important to you, feeling meaning, purpose, and a sense of mission in life, such as Kozen Rufu. Control, believing that you are in control of your life and that you determine your future. So Nichiren teaches us that we've got the power to overcome any problems and to achieve any goals. So we are in control and we are not controlled. Challenge, feeling that life is full of existing challenges and opportunities for growth, rather than it being full of threats or obstacles. So this is a very, very good psychology feeling. I've always talked to members, I said, if you've got problems, don't even regard this as a problem. I won't even regard this as a challenge, because challenge means that you're taking a lot of effort to overcome it. I will regard every situation as an opportunity for me to learn and grow. And if you think this way, you will find it much easier to handle and overcome the situation, because it's a good opportunity for you to grow and to become better. So the next time you are faced with a stressful situation, if you chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, to number 1, strengthen your commitment to Kosen Rufu. Number 2, take control and envision your desired outcome. Number 3, confidently challenge the situation with determination. Okay, so these are the 2 issues I want to discuss today in a general terms. So I'm going to start talking about the Buddhist way on how to overcome depression and anxiety.